Hey everybody, so today I'm here to do a chit chat video for you guys. I thought I would explain my semi-absence this past week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it's been now, and kind of just give you an update about some stuff because it's been a while since I talked to you guys. Of course my phone starts blowing up the second that I start filming. Nobody ever wants to talk to me unless I'm filming. So I'm just looking back at my calendar to see when everything started. So last Thursday, the 16th, I woke up and I was immediately in pain, like just straight away as soon as I opened my eyes. And as soon as I felt that kind of pain, my mind immediately went to mastitis. So as I was editing, I realized that I didn't talk to you guys about my supply and what happened with all of that during the mastitis. It did decrease a little bit. Obviously, when I was having the clog issue, it blocked it up quite a bit. But after I got the clog released, I noticed that I was down about an ounce, per boob every session, but I kind of took advantage of that and I decided to start pumping every 4 hours instead of every 3, just because I already had a little bit of a decrease in my supply, and at a year I was wanting to get down to 3 or 4 pumps a day anyways, but I don't think I could get there quite yet. So I thought that was a nice in between, just going every 4 hours with pumping instead of every 3. And right now I'm only doing 6 hours at night versus the 7 or 8 I was doing before. So that is everything about my supply. And you'll notice that my living room was an absolute mess when I filmed this, and I did that on purpose because now every single chit chat video I'm going to sit down and I'm going to film in front of the living room as is. My house is not always perfectly clean. I cannot always pick up every single toy that the kids bring out, so I'm just going to let you guys have a little glimpse in the chit chat videos as to what my house regularly looks like. So I thought that'd just kind of be, I don't know, kind of fun and relatable for most people. So those are a couple things that I forgot to mention, but yeah, back to the video. Because when I wake up, typically, I went a pretty good stretch before all of this. At night, I went between 7-8 hours, just kind of depending, and I was always okay. I would wake up no problem. Obviously, I would be engorged and stuff, but I would always empty just fine. I would rarely ever have a clog in the morning. So I had been doing that for at least a month, and everything had been fine. Some mornings I would wake up and there was that tingly kind of pain, it was a feeling okay, you definitely have to go pump, you need to empty, you're getting slightly uncomfortable. So I would have that from time to time, but never pain, intense pain. So when I felt that, I immediately kind of felt like something was wrong, and I went out and I hurried up and I tried to pump, and of course that morning was just all thrown off. The night before had been completely fine. I had emptied like I normally had before I went to bed, and the day before was just a completely regular day. So to me, I was kind of shocked by this. So I went out and I pumped, and I got about half of what I should have before I ran into problems. And I'm not joking when I say that literally I would say most of my right underside of my boob was completely empty. You could feel it, it was squishy, but the entire left side and the underside of that left part of my boob, and even a little bit up top, it was all hard as a rock. So I started massaging and everything, and I got a little bit more out, and it felt like a golf ball underneath my skin. It was insane. I did have some chills, but I kind of tried to ignore those, and I was really just focused on trying to get that clog out. And I think I'll reserve the entire story for a separate video because it is extremely lengthy, and I don't want to clog up this entire video because I've already been talking for 4 minutes. But I've been battling mastitis for the past, let me see, so today's Wednesday, so today is my first day where I've been feeling a lot better, and I feel like I'm finally on the mend. So for the past 6 days I've been fighting this like crazy, and it's been an extremely emotional and physical exhausting experience. I'm going to be very honest in saying that I was very close to just being done breastfeeding. I wanted to dry up, I wanted to wean, I wanted to be done. And yeah, I still get that feeling. Even sitting here right now, I still kind of have that urge to want to be done, and I'll explain that here in a second. But just to kind of get back to it, I was running into problem after problem over the weekend, and by Sunday I was like literally at my wit's end with everything. Sunday was probably not the worst day symptom wise, but just worst day emotionally. I just felt like as time was passing on, the fact I was still having to deal with how crappy everything was really starting to wear on me. So it's been really hard. Thankfully, that Thursday I had my grandma coming over for an entirely different reason, which that obviously ended up getting rescheduled and whatever. So she was able to come over and watch the girls that morning while I went to my OB. You can make a soundboard off of all the noises I just made going back and forth between this, but I think that the first day was probably the worst entirely symptom-wise. I had fever, I had the sweats, I had the chills, I was nauseous, I had a headache, I had body aches, and my body aches were so bad that on the way to my OB, I was having to turn my entire body to like look for cars and stuff on the way there because my neck was so sore. My shoulders were, the back of my knees and like right here, you know, like your elbow, I don't know what this right here is called, but all the, like the joints of me were like so sore. It hurt so bad to move, and I didn't want to take anything before my appointment because I wanted my doctor to kind of see me like as is. So I didn't even take any ibuprofen. Torturing myself, I know. So as soon as I got out of that appointment, I ran over to Walmart and I got myself some ibuprofen. But as soon as I got that ibuprofen in me, it helped my headache and it helped the body aches eventually, but it was definitely rough. It's as excruciating as everybody makes it out to be. I had only heard stories of mastitis, but man, living it, it's seriously a wonder to me that women get this multiple times to continue to breastfeed, because I mean this with 110% certainty that if I got this more than once in my breastfeeding journey, I would be done. I don't care if it was 1 week postpartum, 4 weeks postpartum, 6 months postpartum. I would be done if I had to deal with this multiple times. Nope, not interested. It is seriously one of those things that knocks you like down and out. And I'm not one of those people. Typically when I'm sick, I don't feel good. I don't care. I keep moving. That's just the way it's always been with me. And I'm not one to just give myself the rest that, you know, you need when you're sick. But there's very few times that the illness has like made me, you know, just completely drained me of all physical strength, and I have to rest, and this is definitely one of those times. So for those of you who have had mastitis, you've had it multiple times, and you're still breastfeeding, you are amazing. You are seriously Wonder Woman. I can't even put into words the amount of admiration that I have for those kind of people, because I posted about it and people were saying I've had it 4 times, I've had it 6 times, I've had it 7 times. I'm just blown away by the fact that women can have this so many times and still want to do it. I just don't even understand. I don't know. I struggled really hard emotionally this past week for a lot of different reasons. I'm not making any decisions until I feel better. You know, that was the thing that Mark kept telling me was, you know, please don't make any decisions until you feel 100% again and, you know, you've kind of gotten over this and you have time to really think confidently about it. If you had asked me the day that everything was happening if I wanted a pill or a shot or anything to give me to dry up my milk, I would have taken it. I would have taken it without a doubt, because I was in so much pain. I just wanted it to end, and I just didn't want to breastfeed anymore, and I was like, just take my boobs. Just take them. I don't need them. Well, I guess it was just the left one. I should have said, did I say what boob it was in? It was in my left boob. And of all boobs, the right one has always given me trouble, and I always thought, like, this is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one who gives me crap. Like, even with Sophie, and it's the one that always gets the funky clogs and the weird spots, and it just is like, sometimes it's my slacker boob, and it's just completely just nuts sometimes. Nope, just wake up out of the blue one morning and boom, there it is. So I do think it was a clog that caused it. There's a lot of different reasons why you can get mastitis, but I think that was the reason why, because as soon as I started breaking down that clog and finally chipping away at it, let me get to the clog itself in a second, but when I finally started chipping away at it, that's when I started to feel better. And now that I feel, from what I can physically feel, is it's mostly gone. I do feel a lot better. Last night I still had some sweats, but it was nothing like what I was having to deal with. You know, I got on antibiotics. I've been taking some ibuprofen when I'm not feeling, you know, super well, or I have a headache or body aches or whatever. So about the clog itself, just really quickly, because I've already been talking about this for 13 minutes, which is insane, but it's been a big part of the past week and a half, let me tell you. So I started off trying to massage it, trying to think of I literally tried everything, and I'm trying to think of the order that I did them in, but that's going to be impossible. I know that I tried to massage it out like normal, what I normally do. Tried vibration, I tried heat, I tried a comb, dangle pumping, hand expressing. I feel like I'm missing one and I can't remember. But basically I tried almost everything except lecithin, and that was the thing that I think finally got most of it out, is it helped break it up. I was pumping blood for a couple of days. I looked down and I was like immediately kind of lightheaded because, like I said, I don't do well seeing my own blood, and it was rough. And thankfully Mark was home to help me, and it was disgusting. This, like I said, looked like more blood than milk, and I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not going to feed that to her. You do what you're comfortable with. Me personally, I'm not comfortable with that, so I wanted to throw it away. Pouring it into a bottle to a breast milk storage bag, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at it because of, you know, how gross it looked to me, but I could hear it. And once I started feeling better, I walked over and I looked at it, and it was probably the size of like a cutie or like a halo, one of those like little oranges that you feed your kids. I think what happens is like your clogs or whatever that is, it all congeals in the bottle, because there's no way that just slipped out of my boob and I didn't notice, because that's another thing. I wasn't in pain when this happened. I just looked down and it was there. So no pain at all. It was just coming out that way. So I think it was entirely my fault. I was being way too aggressive trying to get my clog out, and I think I might have broken blood vessels, and I think that's what caused it. But I think what happens is it's broken up, and then once it's in the bottle, it almost settles the way it was settled in your boob, if that makes sense. That's my theory on it, because there's no way that like a orange sized, clementine sized, whatever you want to call it, thing came out of my boob just like that. So I don't know, but that happened like 2 more times, and it was disgusting, and that was just really gross in and of itself. But like I said, I'm feeling much better now. Not entirely, I'm not 100%, but definitely feeling better. I've already been talking for 18 minutes. This is going to be a fun one to edit, let me tell you. I do still have antibiotics to take for quite a few more days. I also have a follow-up of my OB and stuff, and I guess kind of that leads me on to my next topic, is that I was obviously still dealing with these feelings and everything when the mastitis creeped up, but it was kind of even brought further to the surface when I went to the OB for the mastitis. But the whole miscarriage feelings, I was going to come on here and give you guys an update before the mastitis happened about how I was feeling, and it's been really rough. I feel like in some ways it's been easier, and in some ways it's been harder. I don't really know how to feel about it most days. I just kind of let my feelings roll about it, if that makes sense. I don't know how to put this, but I'm like a problem solving person. So I normally like to understand things. I like to pick things apart and figure out why this is, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I am with my feelings too. I like to get to the bottom of why I'm feeling these certain things. And if there's one thing I've learned when it comes with losing a pregnancy, is that you kind of got to give yourself the grace, the time, and the space to not sort all that stuff out at once, and you kind of just need to feel things. And there's no right or wrong feelings in your grief, you know, and so you just got to kind of let them play out, as long as you're not hurting other people in the process, you know, so, or yourself. But I just was kind of dealing with that stuff, and then the mastitis happened, and then when I went to the OB for my appointment about the mastitis, they put me in the room directly across from the ultrasound room, and that literally never happens. It's that room that they reserve for special circumstances. It feels a lot of the time like my head and my heart are in two different places, and my heart wants another baby right now, not to replace or fix anything, but just simply because it was a desire beforehand to be pregnant, but other things outweighed it. However, with getting pregnant and then losing that pregnancy, it kind of just threw gasoline on the fire, and it just kind of feels like that desire is out of control now. But my head knows that it's better to wait. It's better to do the things that we had planned on doing, and I know that there's a reason why we said we were going to wait and stuff. So I'm conflicted a lot of the times, which that's hard to deal with. But with where I was going with that is the fact that in my head, I'm happy for those people. It's super cute and adorable to hear them come out of that room and be like, oh, look, they have your, you know, whatever. And it's just, it's such a special time in people's lives that it's really cute to witness. It was cute in that way, but it was also really hard for me at the same time. Like, I just wanted to be like, can you move me to a different room, please? I do not want to hear this stuff. And it was hard, and it was, you know, adorable at the same time. You know, not to mention that that ultrasound machine room, we have had both good and bad experiences in that room as well. You know, I had 2 ultrasounds to see my 2 living children, and I've had 2 ultrasounds to see the aftermath of losing 2 pregnancies. So to me, it's a very conflicting space in of itself. But of course, my OB wanted to talk to me about everything and see how I was doing, and she is just so amazing, and I love my OB for that kind of stuff. You know, she's just so great. But at the same time, obviously, talking about those feelings just kind of brings them to the surface. So it was just really hard, and I'm obviously still working through it. I mean, when it comes to pregnancy loss, you work through those feelings your entire life. I still work through feelings about my first pregnancy loss. So it's been difficult, but I've been trying to just take it one day at a time. And all in all, about that entire situation, the mastitis, miscarriage feelings and everything, I think that I'm going to wean around 1.5 to 2 years old. I think I'm probably gearing more towards 1.5 years, maybe hitting 1.5 years and then weaning. I think that's where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'm not making any decisions until I feel 100%, and I feel like even then I might not even know. I'm just gonna do whatever kind of comes to me. I have also been getting stuff ready for Remy's first birthday. I really hate people asking me about it, and I mean that in, you know, like a friendly way. But, you know, like, I don't want to talk about it. I can't believe she's turning 1, but I'm really excited. I think her birthday party is going to be really cute, and I know that they're going to have a lot of fun. I am excited for, like, the better weather. I am not an outdoorsy person. I don't like hot weather, but I feel like the kids are going to love playing outside with each other and just having a ball outside. So I could tolerate it for them. So I'm really excited. Her birthday party is going to be garden themed. I will be more specific in my upcoming videos for it. I just don't want to give too much away yet. And for her birthday, I think we are going to make a kind of sensory busy board. We were going to get them an outside playhouse, but honestly, like I told you, it's still snowing here. It still gets cold. It's just completely crappy outside. And I don't want to get them something they can't play with. So I figured even if we did do the sensory board, we could take that outside on the deck and they could play with it out there. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I always wanted to build one for Sophie anyways too, so I'm really looking forward to that. Sorry if I have not been looking at the camera the whole time. It looks really nice outside. And I've also been working on Easter stuff, getting them Easter baskets, getting their Easter stuff. I don't know. Let me know when you guys want to see what's in their Easter baskets. I, of course, was going to do that, but I'm not sure when to upload it. Let me know when you guys would like to see it. And then the last couple things I want to mention really quickly were just a couple of updates on things. One being Sophie's mood. I know that I mentioned that last time and like her attitude and stuff. It has gotten better. Parents of multiples, let me know how you handle the sibling thing. I think it's slowly starting to dawn on me that I feel pretty confident in how I parent one child, but I have no idea how to parent siblings. This is starting to become a whole new world for us because Remy is walking now, like full on walking, and they are playing with each other. They're getting in each other's things and in each other's spaces and stuff. So I'm not really sure how to handle like the constant, like not pushing and like pushing really hard, but Sophie will go up and like bump her just so she falls over because, you know, Remy still doesn't have the best balance, but she'll do stuff like that, or she'll just like hold on to Remy for too long and Remy will start yelling at her, and I just don't know how to handle those things. Like, do you intervene every single time? Because it's exhausting. But I feel like no, you shouldn't intervene every single time unless there's like blood or someone's being really mean. But at the same time, is it okay to let them pick on each other? I mean, looking back at it, my parents had never got into every little single argument that me and my sister got into. I'm just really starting to learn that we're out of our little comfort zone here. So I thought I would ask for your guys' opinion. And then the last thing is about the Medela Sonata review. I get a lot of questions on when I will be posting that review, and I want to stress something to you guys that I know I've mentioned before, but it's the fact that I don't do reviews unless I feel confident in my opinion on them. I'm not going to come on camera and I'm not going to give you, you know, an overview of something and then give you kind of like, well, I guess this is my opinion, or mostly, or whatever. I want to feel 110% confident behind what I have to say about that product, and I'm not there with the Sonata. That's the reason I've been taking longer on this one. I've really been trying to work hard and figuring stuff out about it. It just comes down to me using it, and that's kind of where I don't know how to form an opinion on it when I can't seem to get certain things to work for me. So I'm trying to figure that out, but I promise the second that I am completely comfortable with how I feel about it, I will make that review in a hot second for you guys. I have like the worst hangnail ever in this nail of mine, and it's so distracting. Oh, and I've had a lot of people ask me about how we've been liking the Nuna car seats, and we have not used the Rava yet. We have used the Nuna Pippa with Remy for the past 4 months, and I will be making a review on that soon because we're about to switch her over to a convertible car seat. The reason why we never got around to installing the Rava was because, this is going to be long-winded, so bear with me. So we got replacements for both of the girls' car seats. When the wreck happened, Remy was in an infant carrier and Sophie was in a convertible car seat. We already had another convertible car seat at home that was meant for Remy that we got on sale. So when that wreck happened, immediately threw away the damaged car seats. Well, we put the convertible car seat that we had at home in the car for Sophie. So that's what we were doing while we were waiting on ordering the car seats and getting the money from the insurance and whatever. So Sophie was already riding in the convertible car seat that we had already bought previously before the wreck, and that was just another Kiko Next Fit Zip. And like I said, we had intended on it being for Remy, but Sophie needed it at that time and point. So when we were trying to decide what car seats to get, since we already had a convertible car seat, we decided to get another infant carrier with the money for Remy's car seat because we do plan on having more kids. So that's why we went with the Nuna Pippa. And it was also still cold outside. Remy was also younger, so we felt like we could still get use out of an infant carrier. And with the money from Sophie's car seat, we got another convertible to replace hers. So now we have 2 convertible car seats and an infant carrier, which is what we wanted to have before the wreck even happened. So now we have 1 Kiko Next Fit Zip, which is in the car. Sophie has already been using that for about 4 months now, and we've just kept the Nuna Rava inside while Remy was using the Nuna Pippa, the infant carrier. But she's just getting too big. She hasn't outgrown it or anything. It's just getting very, like, she's very heavy in it. So that, on top of the fact that she does not want to be in that thing unless absolutely necessary, I think we are going to move her to the Rava very soon. Probably this weekend we will switch her over. So as soon as we get some use out of the Rava, I will make that review as well. But I do get a lot of questions on how we've been liking the car seats, so I thought I'd update you on that as well. But leave me any questions down below. I will answer them in my next chit chat video. I love doing these. I feel like I'm talking to you guys a little bit more personally. For those of you who reached out and have offered your advice, your well wishes, whatever it may have been, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad to finally be feeling better. I did film a ton of videos before I got sick, so you will be seeing those. I also am going to be filming a lot more this week, just a lot of exciting videos for you guys. But if you guys have any requests for certain videos, you can also leave those down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.